forward facing sonar. Seems to be quite the issue these days. Well, let's crack open a cold one and dive down a rabbit hole. Go grab you a drink, hurry back, and we'll talk about it. So, forward-facing sonar seems to be quite the controversy these days, whether you have it or don't have it. Some people say it's cheating. Some people think it's a great tool. I have it. I'm going to use it. It is a great tool. It's not cheating. It's just the latest in technology, unfortunately. And a lot of people don't like new technology. Has it helped me catch fish? Absolutely. If I told you it hadn't, I'd be lying to you. But on the flip side of that, it has cost me a lot of fish. Because just like everybody else, head down, watching the dang screen all the time. That's a hard habit to break. I mean, I've had to slowly try to learn not to stare at it all the time. It's a very valuable tool. It helps you eliminate water. You may think the fish are doing something, and they're not. It helps you look around at structure. I have found that to be the biggest value of it, is being able to study the fish more. What I used to think they were doing, sometimes they're not. What the conditions say they should be, sometimes they're not. I've caught a lot of fish while staring at the darn screen. The fish were down into the structure. Couldn't get a bead on them. Didn't see them. You might get lucky and see one come flying out of a rock pile and murder your bait. Or you're off by a little bit. There's only 18 and 20 degrees. Roughly 20 degrees is what your beam is. Some are different. I think Active Target's 18. One of the other brands may be 20 or 22. So it's a narrow beam that shines out like that. It's hard to find your bait out there sometimes, much less the darn fish. But without getting off on a rant, it's a helpful tool. Has it hurt the fishing industry? The sport of fishing? We won't honestly know that for quite some time. That's what the biologists are for. They set creel limits, slot limits. They check on the fish in your whatever state you're in. Studies down the road, we may be all learning a few years from now of, oh yeah, this has made a very negative impact on it. We may learn that it made no impact whatsoever. We may learn that it made an improvement. I couldn't tell you that. Neither can anybody else. I watch a lot of the YouTube videos on people that are totally against it and totally respect their opinions and their views. I don't leave any childish comments. I don't throw rocks. They're entitled to their comments, and some of them are bringing up some really good points, but the answers to those we're not going to know anytime soon. I mean, does it help you win tournaments? Yes and no. Depends on how you're using it. A lot of people will tell you, oh, you're you know, if you ain't scoping, you're hoping. I've heard that one I don't know how many times. I grew up fishing skinny water. Muddy skinny water. Well, not like this. Throwing spinner baits and jigs and stuff into brush and the tips of trees, laydowns, reading the water and the contours of the land and learning, hey, this gradually slopes. And when I drifted over there with my 2D sonar, you know, there's a ledge there. You can feel it with your bait. I think its biggest thing is it helps you cover more water, helps you eliminate a lot of water, and helps you learn more about fish behavior to be able to present a bait to them and hopefully get some sort of hunger strike or a reaction strike, pour strike, and make those fish bite. As far as the negative impacts, who knows? I don't know whether people are upset that people are using it too much, taking too many fish out of the water. We don't need to leave them all in the water. You do need fish taken out. Biologists will go take fish out. So the people that are totally CPR, catch, photo, release, yeah, that's great. I do that all the time. I'm not one to cook bass and eat them. I love sport fishing, fun fishing. Not even really a big tournament guy most of the time. I do like to get in them sometimes just for the camaraderie and the sake of going. You know, it's good competitiveness. As far as its impact, we'll just have to wait and see. If you've got it, make the best out of it. It's a tool in your tool bag to help you be a better angler. If you don't have it, read the water. You've still got to do that. I still do that all the time. What are your conditions? What's the weather? What's the water color? What's the water temperature? What time of year is it? What should the fish, to your knowledge, be kind of doing at that time? Look at the landscape. Big bluff wall, and you know the channel goes over there. There's your channel swing. You don't need anything fancy to know that. You know it swings up against that bank. You know there's a ledge somewhere out there. You can find it with a jig or a bait. You can feel it fall off. The only thing I can think is it helps you locate fish, helps you eliminate the water, probably saves time more than anything. It doesn't always help you catch fish. Up until I bought this new boat with a fancy Lowrance system on it, I ran an old boat. Had a couple of little $100 fish finders on it. I did just fine. You can go way back in some of my videos, pulling same size, same amount of fish in. I probably worked harder for them than I do now, sometimes. But I would get out there, plug in all the factors to the equation, develop a plan, and start covering water. You catch 2 or 3 fish, you develop a pattern. You don't have to have forward-facing sonar, which is what it is. It's not live scopers. That's going to be a term probably found in a dictionary somewhere one day. Live scopers. You evil people. Everybody's going to use it. It's not going anywhere. I heard one gripe about people catching too many fish to eat. That goes back to the whole biologist things and the management of certain waters. Depending on where those people are catching fish, it may be good that they're pulling a bunch of 2-pounders out. Those old big girls out there that we're all after probably weren't in that. And now they don't have all those 2-pounders mowing down their food source. What's going to happen? Well, they're going to get bigger, because it narrows the competition, the survival of the fittest out. If you have too many fish in the water, you're going to have a bunch of little dinks out there. And contrary to popular belief, just because you catch a little dink about that big doesn't mean it was last year's fish or the year before. It could be several years old. It can't grow any bigger because of its food intake. There's too many fish in the water. Too many fish, not enough food source. That's just nature. That's why you have the slot limits on a lot of lakes. They go out there, they shock fish up, and they start doing all the, little mathematical, how many of these, how many of those, or whatever, aging them if they can, or whatever, or what have you. And that's when you'll pull up and there's a sign, hey, why don't you keep about 5 between the 12 and 16 inch mark? That means the ones that are between the 16 and the 20s or above are going to have a bigger food source. They're going to reproduce. If you hadn't figured out that most of the time your bigger fish stay in deeper water, not always. That's not a rule. That's just a observation. Most of the time your bigger fish, they're going to spawn a little deeper. Or even if the big ones move up, she's going to drop her eggs and she's going to leave a little buck bass guarding them, and she's going back out. In and out. Anyway, I'm drifting off the subject here. Forward-facing sonar. That's the proper terminology for that. Every brand has their own name for it. I run a Lowrance system. It's all Ethernet together. It's active target. I can hit the screen back here and it'll see the screen. It mirrors the screen up front. My buddy, fishing partner, co-angler, whatever you want to call them, they can see what I'm looking at, and it helps them kind of know what's going on. Like I said, it's helped me a lot. I'd be lying if I said it didn't. But it's also cost me probably the same amount of fish because I stare at the screen too much. Rod, reel, lure in hand, standing there holding it, looking for something to throw at, or thinking, how do I approach this? How do I present this bait? When I need to be fishing, covering water. So it has its ups, has its downs, and it's probably they're going to be like cell phones. I've got the Lowrance active target. I don't know what version it is, but there'll be a 2.0, a 3.0, and eventually you'll have to upgrade. There'll be another gadget come out that you bolt on, plug in, whatever. It'll be just like cell phones. Probably by the time we all get one certain thing, there's already versions ready to rock. Every time I boot the Lowrance system up, there's updates. If I update it today, 3 days from now, there'll be more updates. All I can say to the naysayers about the live scope, hell, see, I said it. It's becoming a term about forward-facing sonar. Can't believe I said that. But all I can say is it's here. It's technology. It's no different than if you didn't like a phone. I don't need no dang cell phone. I could do without them. I grew up without them. But now everything's on it. Your banking apps, emails, all that. It's just an unfortunate or fortunate thing. It's a tool. It's something that's in society with technology as it evolves that we're going to have to deal with. Will it impact the fish? Will it impact the sport of fishing, angling, tournaments? Absolutely, everything does. New bait comes out, big impact. Oh my God, they're tearing them up on this particular bait. And then that bait kind of falls away. For all we know, forward-facing sonar, I said it right that time. It could be something that, yeah, remember that? That was great. I mean, old boat started out with a flasher. Now we've got down imaging, side imaging, 2D, 3D. You can upgrade and get the 360s, and that's no different than radar on a seagoing vessel or what, a big water boat. You can see all around you. It's going to help you catch fish. It's going to keep you from catching fish, depending on how you use it. It's not going away. It's going to be here. And there's nothing anybody can do about it, unfortunately. I enjoy it. I'll use it the next time I go fishing. I'm learning not to stare at the darn screen. I've made comments before that forward-facing sonar is probably the most frustrating video game you'll ever play. Because you see fish, they won't bite nothing. You throw everything in the boat at them, they ain't gonna hit it. Or you're looking at a bait ball going, well, I don't see any fish in it, and oh God, 4 or 5 big blips come up in the middle of it and it goes out. That's interesting to watch. I'll kid you not, I'll stare at that for a while. It's just cool. It's a very cool tool. It will help you learn that your bait doesn't fall as fast as you thought it did. Your bait doesn't run as deep as you thought it did. No matter what line you've got on, it may not go as advertised. It may not have the action that was advertised. That in itself is going to help you be a better fisherman, because what you thought was going on is not going on. I mean, we run around in these high-speed boats looking for something we can't see, trying to make it bite something that ain't real. And a lot of times we have success at that. That's pretty cool in itself. But the forward-facing sonar, no matter what brand you buy, it's here. It's here to stay. Use it. Have fun. Keep a fish to eat if you want to. It's okay. I don't have a problem with people keeping fish to eat. Don't go out there and don't take more from Mother Earth than you need. And the earth has a way of setting itself straight, making things right. Like I said, we can't leave all the fish in there. That'll have a negative impact for sure. We can't take them all out. That's a negative impact. It's checks and balances, no matter which way you go about it. The technology is going to keep improving. Bass boats are going to get bigger, better, faster, whatever. Back in the day, an 18-foot boat with a 150 on it. That was your tournament rig. Now, they're a 21-foot boat with a 250. That's your basic tournament boat, no matter what brand. That's it. This boat is a 19-footer with a 200 on it. I don't have any quarrels about it at all. I love it. It came with a total Lowrance system. That's the way the whole boat was rigged up. I wish I'd have added another screen up front. And maybe my next boat or this one, I may upgrade to another screen, because the mapping system, great. Down imaging, side imaging, forward-facing sonar is no different than everything that looks down. You're just looking out now. And I don't understand really why everybody gets in such a tizzy about it. If you ain't, what is it? If you're not scoping, you're hoping. That's funny. Cover water. Use the tried and true reading the water tactics. Plug in all your equation, and you should have a good day fishing. So, get your behinds off of YouTube. Why are you watching YouTube anyway? Go fish.